Evening, YouTube. Holy Sasquatch here. Saturday night, February 8th, just shy of 6 o'clock down here in Gifford National Forest. I just finished eating dinner. I had fried potatoes and top ramen with no juice. I drained the water out and just used the seasoning packet, and then mixed it up with the potatoes. It was really good. And then I had a cup of hot cocoa and stoked the fire and figured it was time maybe for another Fireside Ramble. I'm grateful it's actually dry tonight. It's chilly and there's a lot of moisture in the air, high humidity, but regardless, it ain't raining, and it's kind of a nice night to sit by the fire. It's actually the first night I could sit out there without my little umbrella, and I'm not having to try and dry my stuff off. So I'm grateful, and welcome to a Fireside Ramble. Before I get going, I wanted to show you guys the book I was talking about earlier. I always share the books I read with you guys, and they're generally Sasquatch related. This one here that I just finished, I highly recommend. I don't know if you can see it. In the Valley of the Noble Beyond, In Search of the Sasquatch by John Zeta. It's a heck of a book, and I would encourage anybody who has an interest in Sasquatch to give that book a read. The majority of it takes place, here in the Pacific Northwest, or up in Vancouver and British Columbia, and it's just a really good book, and I highly recommend it. My next book on the list, and this one was actually a gift. I got it from my mom. Not Sasquatch related, but what's interesting about this author is he's actually, surprisingly, I started it before I left. Colin O'Brady, From Fire to Ice, Crossing Antarctica Alone, The Impossible First. I'm hardly into the book, and it's already got me going. I'm excited to read that book as well. But apparently that guy was born in Olympia, Washington. And I don't know what the chances of that are, but yeah, he was born right here in the Pacific Northwest as well. I thought that was interesting. Anyways, let me get over here in my chair and see if I can't ramble you a Sasquatch experience that I've had. I was thinking tonight for this story, this is a more recent one. The first ones were just kind of to get you going and let you know the kind of experiences I had, and they were kind of in order as far as things happened. But this one here happened last summer. I was down here solo camping and doing my thing on Thumper, and man, that thing is just a blast to ride around. There's roads all over the place here in Gifford National Forest. I don't usually do anything too crazy because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I explore every road I can find just about. That being said, I took off one morning, and I actually think I made a video that day. I don't recall the name of it right now. But it seems like I was headed up toward Lone Tree Mountain, but I can't say for sure. And I had been riding for a while. Anyways, I went up this road, and I turned this way, and I took another turn. I went in straight, turned right on the side road off of this road, and then I ended up taking another right, going up in even further. And as I'm thumping up this road, it's starting to turn into not too much of a road. You can still tell it was a road, but it's all like the grass is getting tall, the shrubs are growing in. I'm having like to dodge brushes, going this way and that, and just kind of weaving through all the stuff that's growing up. And as I'm going, I'm thinking, man, I don't know how far I can go on this road. And it was kind of slick too that day. For whatever reason, it must have been wet the night before or something, I don't recall, but the grass was slippery, And so I'm going up this road, and there's like a mini tree break that catches my eye, and it's like just barely in the road. It's like halfway across the road, and it's just like a sapling. It's broke over, and I think, hey, right on. And I kind of go around it to the left. Then I come upon another one that's even bigger, and it's coming across the other side of what was a road that I'm going down. And I had to stop and think, holy moly, I don't even know if I can get around this one. This might be the proverbial end of the road. And I looked at it for a second, and it was, I mean, this is a bigger tree. And I went underneath it on the left and then continued down. And then not too much further after that, I met the proverbial end of the road, and this break was laid straight across the road, and I couldn't get over this tree, and I didn't want to. So I figured that was a good place to stop and take a break. And I hopped off Thumper and watered the grass, and I was eating a granola bar. And as I'm looking around, I see something shiny, and I'm like, what is that right there? And this is all right at the tree that's across the road there. Oh, it ain't a road, but regardless. I see something shiny as I'm eating my granola bar, and I already took my helmet off, and I had no intention of going anywhere. I wanted to walk around. I was at the end of the road, and it took me a while to get up there. So I walk over, and I'm like, what? And it's a pop can in the middle of nowhere, dude. I'm telling you right now, there's a shiny pop can. I don't recall it. I think it might have been Pepsi, too. That's what was weird. There's an older Pepsi can. Yeah, it was a Pepsi can. Anyways, this pop can didn't belong there, dude, and I don't know who would have put it there, and regardless, it was unique. Sasquatch or whoever seems to like shiny things, whether it's Mylar balloons or pop cans and things like that in odd places where people just don't normally go. But so right at this pop can in the tree break, there's a little trail going in, and I was like, oh, right on. I'll go in here and I'll look around. So I grabbed my phone, my little backpack with my water, and I walked into the woods there. And I don't know, I walked in fairly straight, and I probably went in like maybe 40 or 50 yards at the most, no more than 50 yards. And I started looking around, and I could see that it was beat up in there, and I could see that there was something going on, and I was getting excited, and I pulled my phone out, and I was just thinking, man, this is a great spot to make a video, and I was pumped. And then all of a sudden, it dawns on me, or it feels like, now this is going to sound funny. I don't know if it'll sound funny or not. I guess let me digress for one moment if you don't mind. Just a bit of background about me. I obviously like nature. I'm out in the woods. I hunt. I'm a bow hunter. I come down to Gifford National Forest and I'm camping all the time. I've been backpacking. My point is I'm fairly familiar with the woods. And again, more than most, and not as, not my, anyways, I'm stammering. My point is I know my way around the woods fairly well. Not as well as most, but a lot more than some. So back to the story. I walk into the woods and I'm like 50 yards in at the most, and I'm excited to make a video, and I pull my phone out and I start looking around thinking, where do I want to start this? And then all of a sudden it like dawns on me, or I'm thinking, and it was a sinking feeling. I'm like, where in the frick am I? All of a sudden, dude, I'm like, what the I literally had no idea where I was. And I was filled with anxiety. And it was like, I don't even know how to describe it, dude. I was so anxious, and I literally felt completely lost, and I had no idea where I was. And I've never felt like that before in my life. And I've certainly never felt like that in the woods. Everybody gets disoriented in the woods, and then you find your way because you just weren't paying attention or whatever, you know what I mean? But this is a truly sinking feeling, like whatever people feel like when this is an assumption for anybody who has ever truly been lost. I believe on this particular day I was feeling that. And all of a sudden I'm like not thinking about making a video, and I'm looking around in every direction and I have no idea. All I see is the woods. I slipped my phone back in my pocket and I thought, holy shit, where am I, dude? And I did exactly what you're not supposed to do, and I'm telling you this because this is what happened. Man, I started walking this way. I walked like 30 yards this way, 30 yards that way. So I must have been in there a little bit, but none of it, you know what I mean? None of it made any sense, and I couldn't see where I came from. But I walked this way and I walked that way. It probably wasn't 30 yards. I'm exaggerating, I guess. I might have walked like 15 feet in every direction, just looking around, just in panic mode, not knowing where I was or where I came from. And then I just stopped and I thought, holy moly, if I keep this up, I'm really going to be lost. If I think I'm lost right now, I'm really going to be lost if I keep running around like this. So I stopped moving and I just started breathing. And I'm thinking, what in the frick is going on, dude? And this overwhelming feeling of anxiety and an urge to like need to leave was just like freaking me out, dude. I don't know how else to describe it. And so I started trying to think, what did I just do? And I'm like, okay, I was riding Thumper. I got off Thumper and I walked into the woods. And then it dawns on me, what woods am I in? I don't, not only do I not know where I am, but then I'm starting to realize, like, I don't even know what woods I'm in. And I start thinking I'm at Fort Lewis, riding around on the property like I do there in South Thurston County. And I'm looking around, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I'm in Fort Lewis. Oh, that makes sense. And I start picturing this road in my head, and I'm fairly convinced that's where I'm at. And I still haven't moved yet, because I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. And then it dawns on me that I'm in Gifford National Forest, and the scope of what the area I'm in got exponentially larger. And I thought, holy shit, I'm in Gifford National Forest. I don't even know where I'm at, dude. This is not good. And so I'm like, okay, I know for sure I rode Thumper, and I know damn well I didn't walk into the woods very far. I have to be able to find my bike within 100 yards in any one direction. I turned up the way I came, but by this time I'd wandered a little bit. I turned back the direction I thought I came, and I started walking, and I went up this little bump, and I was like, man, I don't remember coming up this little bump. And of course, I shouldn't be remembering it, because that's not the way I came in. And I get to the top of this thing, and I'm expecting to see a road or something. And I'm like, where's the road, dude? There's no road, there's nothing. I'm like, my bike has to be around here somewhere. And I climbed down a little bit further to where it flattened out. And then I had to hike back up to my left about, I don't know how far, I'm not going to say. Not too far. And then finally, thank goodness, I saw Thumper. And I thought, well, holy moly, I don't know where the hell I'm at. But if I get on my bike and I head up the way I came in, or the way my bike is pointed, because I had turned my bike around when I got there. If I get on my motorcycle and I just ride the way it's pointed, I said, at least I know I'll be going somewhere. And I was freaking out, dude. I had no idea where I'm at. I'm in the middle of the woods, and I'm thinking, I'm just lost. This is the craziest shit that's ever happened to me, and it's just, I don't even know, dude. So I hop on Thumper, and keep in mind now, I rode up a ways, and I turned right, and I turned right again on this other side road, and I'm up in the middle of like nowhere on this road that hasn't been used in I don't know how long. So I go back, and nothing is familiar to me at this point. I have absolutely no idea. The breaks across the way as I came in, none of this shit is making any sense to me. Like, it's all like brand new, and I have no idea. And so I just start going up the road. And from this road, when you got to the end, there was only one way to go. Thank goodness at this point there was only one way to go. So I went back down to the left and followed it, and I thought, well, this isn't too hard. This road's got to take me somewhere. And I went down a ways further, and then I came to the next turn in the road. Only this time I'm back on the main, the more main road that I came in on. And I got two options, and I don't know where I'm at or how I got there. I got a right turn and a left turn. And I'm thinking, holy shit, I got a 50-50 shot. Oh, and so I turned right. And I figured one way or the other, I would hopefully start seeing something that I remembered. If not, I was going to turn around in 5 miles. That's what I decided. So I looked at my odometer, and I was going to click off 5 miles and turn around if nothing was making any sense. I got about 2 miles up the road, and I hit a giant mud puddle that was like huge. It's something I would not go through. And that much I knew when I saw it. I was like, holy, look at this mud puddle. I'm like, there's no way I came through here. I don't even know where this mud puddle came from, but I know for certain it's not something I'd go through, so this has to be the wrong way. So I turned around and just went straight down, and I said, well, no matter what, I'm not going to turn anymore. And I mean, my heart is just like beating, my adrenaline's pumping, and I have no idea where I'm even at, dude. I'm just riding on these roads blindly, trying to figure out what the frick is going on. So I shoot back down the road. I turn around to mud puddle, and that road was all muddy and shit. It was terrible. I almost dumped her right there. But I did like a 12-point turnaround, riding the clutch, got her turned around. I said, I'm just going straight, no more turns, no more bullshit. I got to get out of here. I got to find where this road goes. I got to go somewhere. And so I just start dumping down the road. And again, nothing's looking familiar, and I'm just feeling lost. And man, it's been like, by this time, it's been like probably 25 minutes from getting on my bike, turning the wrong way, and then coming back down this, what I'm calling the main road. And there's a water feature, or a pond. It's not even a pond, but whatever. It's like a little swamp area on the left on this little right-hand 20-mile-an-hour corner. And I see this, all of a sudden I'm going down the road, and I'm thinking 50 million things, trying to, I don't even know, but I'm riding down the road, and my mind's going 50 miles an hour, and I see this water feature on my left right before this corner to the right. And the light goes on. Hey, I remember seeing that on the way up here. And I was like, hallelujah. Finally, something I remember. Finally, something I remember. And then I felt good, and then all of a sudden, like, the weight was lifted. I had clarity back again. I knew that I was in Gifford National Forest for sure. I knew what road I was on and how far away I was from my camp and everything. And it was just insane. And I can't say I don't know what happened, but if you want to call it, I call it getting bushwhacked in the brain. But other people call it getting zapped, or whatever that little, I don't know what it is that they can do, but Sasquatch has an ability to affect you mentally and physically. They can make you have anxiety, they can make you feel nauseous. Apparently you can feel lost like shit in the woods and not even know what's going on. And had I not had a previous experience feeling similar to this, and that's a whole nother story, and I don't know if I'll ever share that one. I may or may not, and I'm not saying that just to have you say, oh, we want to hear the story. I don't even know about sharing that one. That one screwed me up. Didn't keep me out of the woods, obviously, but that was something. But the experience was similar in that the effect was about 20 to 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's like a weight's lifted, and you have clarity, and you realize what's going on, and it's just like very weird, and then a part of you wants to immediately go back because you don't understand what just happened. So yeah. That's my story about getting bushwhacked in the brain, zapped, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, it's the things, I guess, it's hard enough to, I don't know, it's not hard, I guess, that's not accurate, but, most folks don't want to talk about Sasquatch anyways, or they think it's, it doesn't exist, or I don't even know, it don't matter. But that's just the physicality of it. But then when you get into the other things, and I'm not saying that their ability to affect us mentally and physically isn't a